coming down the back straight, picking up speed relatively fast, getting up to 190 kilometers an hour, taking the bend, coming up the uphill, it's a blind rise, speed climbs to about 180 kilometers an hour, hits the bend, and at this point, all hell breaks loose. And I realized I messed up and this car needs to stop. Oh, and that's me, by the way, in the ambulance. I never thought I would experience a track day in a 4 million rand AMG GT R Pro and the agony of a Steers burger trying to escape my stomach on the same day. This is the story of how I ruined a 4 million rand AMG GT R Pro. Stay tuned for the entire story. It gets interesting towards the end. So this is our weapon of choice for the day, a Mercedes-Benz AMG GT R. And Mercedes-Benz said, well, let's make it wilder. The result, a GT R Pro. A car that's like a caffeinated cheetah on 4 wheels. This thing is loaded with carbon fiber. Front splitters, side skirts, rear wings, you name it. It's so lightweight that a strong gust of wind might just make it hover. Okay, not really, but you get the point. It's faster around the Nürburgring than your Take-A-Lot delivery with their Prime subscription. With a lap time of 7 minutes, 4.63 seconds, the GT R Pro eats corners for breakfast and probably asks for seconds. It growls louder than a T-Rex with a sore throat. The 4.8 liter V8 roars like it's permanently angry at life. Even a whisper from the exhaust sounds like Thor clearing his throat. Couple of scenes you'll see Mohammed from the AMG driving school taking us through some of the technical aspects of the course, and after that you'll see the guys from Stigworks taking us through exactly. So in the previous scene you saw us, I showed you the V-box and so forth in the car and the telemetry, but have a listen to how advanced and how technical this course was to give you some insight. There is a delta that's set. So a guy goes out there, he sets a pace time of say 109. And where he brakes, you can see where he brakes and where he starts accelerating, how soon he gets onto the accelerator, things like that there. So your graph is plotted like this. And what happens is that his graph is here and you want to get your graph as close to his graph as possible. So pay attention, you might learn a thing or two.
What we want to try and find is we want to try and get the last bit of RPM coming out of the corner. We want to go into third gear, or we want to finish second gear, or finish third gear, whatever the case may be. And we just want that last bit of acceleration. It is genuinely from here to the wall, that amount of distance. Now, if we have to accelerate this process, what we'll find is when we now need to start slowing down,
while you're on the track. So we have 2 cameras, the main camera pointing down the road, the other camera looking at you at the wheel, and that's quite useful because we like to look at steering input, and obviously with a manual transmission car it's good to be able to see what your gear change technique is like. And as well as the video, we've got audio, so we run a microphone to the exhaust because that kind of gives it a nice multimedia element anyway, and also it gives us quite a lot of information on what you're doing on the throttle. And obviously the main element of it is the GPS input. So by logging into at least two satellite networks, we can see your speed, your direction of travel, G-forces, so both lateral, in other words cornering forces, and then longitudinal, braking and acceleration, and a whole lot of other information as well.
It started as a perfect day for speed. The sun shined on a winter's mid-morning, the track glistened, and my Mercedes-AMG GT R Pro sat in the paddock like a cage beast waiting to be unleashed. I had dreamt of this day i.e. my first proper track session with a 577 track-focused horsepower monster. The goal was obviously to shave down lap times, but most importantly, keep the car and myself in one piece. The morning went off smoothly. I signed the liability waiver, which basically said, if you crash, we will laugh at you. Attended the briefing and strapped myself into the GT R Pro's bucket seats. My instructor, who I can't remember the name, who had probably seen it all, sat beside me, arms crossed, and his eyes ready to judge my every mistake. I rolled onto the track, my heart pounding, and the first few laps were cautious, feeling out the car, getting a sense of its grip, then more importantly, proving to the instructor that I wasn't a complete moron. But soon, confidence kicked in. Then, like the instructor said, good line, now full throttle, brake. Like he truly just barked at me. I did as the instructor said, and the GT R Pro responded with surgical precision. The active aerodynamics kept the car glued to the ground. The titanium exhaust roared with every shift, and for a brief moment I believe I had the skills of a professional driver. I checked the lap time, I was like 4 seconds off the pace. And look, progress is progress, I suppose. Oh, Milo, tell him what happened. It was about in the second stint. Confidence beaming, I was doing pretty well. I was cutting down shaping lap time. But if you look in the bottom left-hand corner of those telemetry videos, you'll see the G-forces. So when they asked us, hey, what you guys want to eat? Obviously, you know what? I said I'll have a halal chow. And the halal chow that they only had was a King Steer burger. Damn. That was a mistake. Just as I came up the blind rise, like you saw in the first opening clip, my stomach felt like a washing machine. And I'm coming around the last corner. I think it's the second last corner, just before the checkered flag. I couldn't. I'm telling the instructor, I need to throw up. And so behold, I threw up all over, inside my balaclava, inside my helmet, my shirt, the seats. Oh, it was disgusting. And then you'll see the guy, he's busy driving, and then I jump out of the car. They call the paramedics. They thought I was dying. And he takes the car, he airs out the car and whatever. But then, yes, it wasn't a lacquer experience. It really wasn't a lacquer experience. I think what made me throw up was when I went out as a passenger, and because I didn't have control of the car, I didn't know when it was going to brake, when the acceleration was going to take place. I didn't feel in control. And everything just came out. That Steers burger just came out. But look, at the end of the day, I'll throw my best lap in and enjoy it. It's a personal best. From the people who I spoke to, they said it's a pretty reasonable time. In my opinion, I'm still an amateur, but it was fast. Enjoy the fastest lap.